Wizard did 5 albums last year,
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
but they hyped it up. They said, "Hey, we're gonna pump out 5 albums this year," so they kind of had like a deadline to meet.
Okay.
Whereas John Dwyer is just like, "You haven't even listened to the full album already. Here's another one."
Yeah. Fuck.
Super cool guy, by the way. I met him
Yeah.
at a Fiddlar show, and
Nice.
I like fanboyed out, and I was like, "Oh my god,
You're all-
do you mind if I take a picture?" And I handed my phone to my friend. It's really funny because I bought tickets to see Fiddlar because it was their first show in a while, and I thought it would sell out pretty quick, which it did. And I was like, "Oh, I'll find someone to go." And I invited Sean first, and he ended up I don't know why he couldn't make it. And then my buddy that I used to work with, his name's Parker, he ended up going with me. He lived in LA, so I had to drive up, pick him up, and then I was like, "Dude, here's my phone. Like, once we look over, just like be ready. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to take too much of his time." So I was like, "Oh my god, dude, you have no idea how much respect I have for you as like you guys are the favorite fucking band. Do you mind if I get a picture?" Got the picture, and I was like, "Dude, let me buy you a drink. Let me buy you a beer, please." And he said, "No, I actually have to buy like 4 or 5 drinks for my buddies that I'm with. So let me just buy you a beer. It'll be easier."
Sweet, man.
Yeah. You're all, oh, taking it. You got a picture with him?
Yep.
Why haven't you posted that?
It's on my Instagram.
Is it?
Yeah. Why don't you scope out all the
I
pictures
did.
I have? I don't post a
Lurk
lot
on his
Instagram.
stuff more, man.
Yeah.
Fine.
What does Fiddler sound like?
Good.
Fiddlar, they're pretty cool. They're like just really grungy, kind of basic, like gutter punk-esque.
Okay.
The drummer and the lead guitarist are their dad was in TSOL.
Oh, cool.
But like, Beneath the Shadows too as well, right? Like keyboard.
I'm not too familiar with TSOL. I think their dad played keys in TSOL.
Okay, yeah, Beneath
Yeah.
the Shadows, which is a great album. I love that one. Some of the songs in Suburbia are from that album. It's more of a like TSOL's like punk opera type of thing. Before Green Day.
Fiddlar, they're a
Before that.
super fun band live. The crowd always just goes fucking nuts.
I may have. What song should I play? Just like
Your
just like-
favorite one.
Probably Cheap Beer
Cheap beer.
is my favorite. One of my favorites.
Oh, perfect. Right here. So anyway, that's just a taste. Go buy the album. Support
Good
them.
Yeah.
stuff, man.
I went to see right when I got into Fiddlar. I went to see Hank 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was playing at Observatory, and it was like a double set. So he was doing his original country shit, and then he branched off and did like a metal album. So the
Yeah.
first hour and a half was like his country hits, and then the second half of the show was his metal stuff. Didn't care for the metal stuff,
It's really weird.
like at all, really. So the group of friends I was with were like, not really our cup of tea. Let's go, maybe smoke a cigarette or something. And I walked out, and there was like 2 guys standing there. Started talking to them, and I was like, "Are you guys like in a band or something?" And they said, "Oh yeah, we're in Fiddlar." And it was like right before they got big.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, Cheap Beer, like fucking Dog Lips a Wrist, holy shit!" And they're like, "Yeah, dude, that's cool." Yeah. So
That's fun.
I met them like right before, like that. I like heard a couple songs. I wasn't like super fanboy status,
Yeah.
but looking back on it, if I were to meet those guys today, I would be like, "Oh my god!"
You're all, here's a sticker.
Yeah.
That's cool. Ah. I met Cher once.
You met Cher?
No. I had to contribute something. It's like, because I met Dwyer and Fiddler and this, and I'm like,
I don't think I've met anyone famous.
I've talked to Ty Segall a few times.
oh, I met him with you, but more like.
Oh
for a
yeah,
second.
yeah, that's right. That was,
Yeah.
dude. He was like
He was
pretty
cool.
down to earth.
Yeah, he was pretty down to earth. He just, I think, was a little germophobic. Because I was drunk.
You kept touching him?
No, actually, I don't think I drank that show. No, I didn't, because that's right about the time no. And then, no, but like, John Morgan was like, "Burn!" He's all, please don't touch me. Like, anyway.
Yes.
We saw him at the Smell. Have you ever been to the Smell?
Nope.
So
Did
the
it
Smell
close
is
for a
this. I think it's still open. I think they threw like a benefit show, like a fundraiser show.
Yeah.
Ty Segall played a benefit show, but this was before they closed down.
Okay.
Ty Segall wasn't quite as big as he is now. And I went, it was me, my brother, ex-girlfriend, my buddy Ed, his good buddy, and there was like a band playing before them. And the Smell, it's like maybe the size of this room, but with like a little hallway behind it. So if it's like a packed show, then the little hallway gets filled up, and that's where like the bathrooms are. So the first band was playing, and Ty Segall was in the crowd in like a prime spot with his back against, I think it's brick walls. So like the people against the walls were like there's like a pit, and then there's like a pad around the pit of people who will like push you if you get like
too out.
Yeah. So he was kind of like the wall is like there, and then it's padded by like two people. So he was like against the wall with just his hands crossed, and I was in the pit for the first band, and it was circling around, and I saw him, and I put my arm around his head and grabbed him and just threw him right into the pit.
Whoops.
And then, dude, he came around and just picked me up and fucking launched me. Like, he was so much stronger than I was, and I'm not a small guy.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's probably like 5'10", 6 feet.
Yeah,
and I'm 6'4".
Shorter than you. The
And
picture is
he
like
came
this.
back and put his arm around me and just started bashing me into people, and then like launched me at the end. And I was like, whoa, this guy is fucking punk rock.
That's fucking cool.
That's a good story. I would not have expected that. I thought he would.
Yeah, he seemed very nice and just like subdued, you know.
Good for him, though. I'm proud that he stood up for himself.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
You had no business.
because I like when I like
doing that to him.
I love seeing someone who like cheap shots you in the pit, and you know they're like a little Nancy boy, and then you grab him and throw him back into the pit, and like I love watching him scurry out of the pit, and he just like knocked out, like not like full on through elbows, but just like bumped shoulders with like 2 or 3 people, and then saw me and just came up and just not like bear hug, but just, you know, when like you put your arm around your buddy and you circle around and like bounce off like the pad of the pit and everything.
Yeah.
He did that, but I was like, couldn't do anything about it. He was,
You know, I'm going where you're going.
Yeah.
He's like, I got you, bitch. Damn. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. So like I said, I meant Cher. When Sunny was alive. So I guess I meant Sunny and Cher.
That was a while ago, huh?
Yeah.
The John Dwyer story at the Fiddler show, because I invited Sean and I was busting his chops on him not going.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like, I'll drive, I'll pay for your beer, it's a free ticket. And he was like, oh, I can't. And then I texted him that picture, and to this day, he's like so butthurt about it. He's like,
you should text it to him now.
yeah.
I think Captain Bill.
Call him again. Call him
up. Should I?
So we're at 44 minutes. You
Yeah,
guys want to take a break?
Take a break. I have a booger in my nose.
Booger.